Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Jackie Geisinger and a wonderful team of Jafra leaders, Jafra future leaders, and consultants out here joining us live July 2019. Today, we have a special edition that I'm really excited to bring to you about Facebook, social media. What are the do's and don'ts? And if you are with us today, we're really excited to bring Anna and Jessica with us today, who are going to be sharing. They work with our compliance team within your Jafra headquarters. And so much has changed in the industry that we want to keep you branding yourself the right way, learning what the do's and don'ts are. Help us all help our team and train our team. You know, we also do a share of this on our Smart Start training on Monday nights. So we'll make sure we keep adding this in. But let's go out there and find Miss Anna. Are you with us? Anna Marcos, are you here?
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, yay. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you look beautiful. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy July, everybody. I just looked at the calendar. I cannot believe it's July 1st, right? I'm so excited for, requested control of my camera. Let's see. So I'm so excited for 4th of July, but we've got a couple days of work, don't we, before we can go on holiday. Well, so today I just wanted to take a couple minutes and share with you all some updates about what's going on in our industry, and then talk about just some kind of tips and guidelines for posting on social media. And first of all, I would like to say that we're really excited about what you guys are doing on social media. We love to see, you know, your creativity, your personality, and we want more of that. And social media is such a good platform to sell products, to share the opportunity. And so we're coming at this like this training and this talk today with that in mind. And so I just wanted to let you all know that you know, this is really a time to help kind of build you up, build up your businesses, and help you promote your business on and offline. You know, get some tips for doing both. So first I want to take a step back and talk to you a little bit about something that's going on in our direct sales industry. So I think, as most of you know, we are a member company of an industry organization. It's called the Direct Sales Association, the DSA. The DSA is made up of a lot of different companies that do direct sales and do multi-level marketing. So there's, you know, Mary Kay, there's Melaleuca, there's Herbalife, there's Scentsy, you know, all these companies come together and do different events, do trainings, that sort of thing. So that's the DSA. So the DSA earlier in 2019 created a self-regulatory council. So it's called the DSSRC, another acronym for you, the Direct Sales Self-Regulatory Council. And so this council is a kind of a group within the industry, within the Direct Sales Association. And the goal is to basically regulate ourselves, to take a look at all the direct sales companies and say, hey, are we following the rules? Are we doing this right? And the goal with that is twofold. First of all, it's to elevate the kind of the perception of direct sales companies nationwide, to make sure that our consumers, our clients, our customers, and that just the population generally has a favorable impression of direct sales companies. The second reason is to show to the regulators, and by the regulators I mean mostly the Federal Trade Commission. That's the FTC. That's the federal government agency that monitors companies for their advertising practices and such. And so it's the Direct Sales Self-Regulatory Council is trying to tell the FTC, look, we are going to behave on our own. We're going to do things right. We're going to watch out for each other and make sure that we're doing it correctly, so that you don't have to, you know, so that you don't have to do it. You don't have to take as close of a look. So it's also to try and keep the FTC, you know, pushed back a little bit so that, you know, we can just kind of get things right on our own. So that's what we're looking at. So that started in April. The DSSRC, the Self-Regulatory Council, started taking cases. So they take on cases and they look at things in several different ways. They can get complaints from other direct sales companies against competitor against competitor direct sales companies. So those are called competitor complaints. So companies can look at each other and say, hey, you're not doing this right, we want to bring this up. They can also get complaints or cases in from consumers or clients. So that could be, you know, people, former distributors who say, hey, this company promised me this and they didn't deliver and I'm upset. You know, or they're making these claims and we don't think they're true, or they're just not doing something right. So that's another way. A third way is that they can actually look at companies themselves and do the monitoring themselves. And so the Self-Regulatory Council has attorneys and other staff members who actually are just going through social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and searching different direct selling companies' names along with some commonly misused phrases or that sort of thing. They also actually have a monitoring tool, so like an automated service, a vendor that they've subscribed to that does the searching for them. So they're able to cover a lot more ground that way. And one of the things that they are focusing on right now are product and income claims made online, namely on social media, by both direct selling companies themselves, so what the corporate pages are putting out, as well as what the distributors are saying, in our case, consultants. So in light of that, we as a compliance team and as a legal team here at Jafra have said, oh, you know what, we probably want to catch anything online before the direct sales company says something to us. So we are just taking a look, and then the point of our call today is to let you know about that and really get your help at looking at your own posts and pages and saying, hey, is there anything that we can improve on here? Anything that maybe needs to be taken down or edited, and then what to watch out for in the future. And with all of this, too, I just want to let you know that we are here to help. We're not here to, you know, say, oh, you're doing this wrong. I mean, we'll say you're doing it wrong, but not give you a slap on the wrist, or there's no idea of getting anybody in trouble here. We're just all trying to lift each other up and work together. So if you have any posts that are questionable, or you're like, oh, why can I post this or not, or can I say this? Please let Jackie know, and Jackie can get in touch with me, or just, you know, you can email Jafra Cares directly and let us know. No getting in trouble at this point. It's just to help. But let's go over the different standards of what we should be looking for. So there are 3 areas that I'd like to address today, and we've talked about these in some of our other trainings. But it's always good to have a refresher and always get some new information, because the other challenging thing about what we're doing here is a lot of these things fall into the gray area. There's not super, I mean, there are some black and white rules, but for a lot of it, it's well, sometimes this is okay, sometimes it's not. It's like contextual. You have to look at it in the big picture. So that's why we continue to talk about this and continue to get ideas from each other and just have this discussion. So let me just jump right into the first point. Unless anybody has questions, does anybody have any questions about what I've talked about so far? All right, seeing none, and feel free to jump in on chat. I'm on chat as well. Let's just jump right into the first point, which is product claims. So the standard and the rule that we need to follow for product claims, so a product claim is anytime you're trying to sell a product, one of our Jafra products, and you're saying that, you know, making a claim about how effective it is or what results you can have. So a product claim isn't just saying, oh, I love this product. It's saying this product can do this for you. That's what we're talking about here. So the rule with product claims is that you can only make product claims that are set out in our official JAFRA materials. And that can be on our website, in our brochures, in our product pages, that sort of thing. So you can get it from different places. The reason why we have that rule is because any product claims need to be substantiated. And that means that there needs to be actual data behind the claim that we're making. And so we as a company do different tests to substantiate our claims before we put them into our branded materials. So for example, you know, we do consumer use tests. We test the products with consumers, and then they give us our results, and that's how we're able to say, you know, 7 out of 10 women, you know, see a decrease in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, something like that. So that, going back to our product claims, those are the types of things that when you're talking about our products on social media, in Facebook or really anywhere, just go back to those materials and say, okay, what is JAFRA saying about these products? Great, that's what I can say about the products. Things that we want to watch out for are kind of edging into the line or making, or just straight going into it, making what we call claims about like what are considered by the industry as drug claims, and not like drugs like you take, like over-the-counter drugs, you know, so like sunscreens, acne creams, that sort of thing. Those are considered over-the-counter drugs, and you can tell because they have like the drug facts on the labels. So what the industry looks at is the difference between cosmetics and drugs. So cosmetics are products that just are on the surface of our skin, the surface of our bodies. They help improve our appearance, beautify, that sort of thing. Drugs, on the other hand, again, these over-the-counter drugs, those actually, you know, are meant to change our cell structure. They're meant to have some sort of like effect on our skin or on our bodies that's deeper than just the surface. Or they're used to, you know, treat or cure a condition. So, for example, we have, oh, I just saw a chat. Sorry, I'll get to my chats in a second. Thanks for that question, though. So, for example, if we have claims about drugs, we as a company need to put those drug facts and follow the rules that apply there. So that's the kind of the behind the scenes reason as to why we just need to be very careful as to what we're saying about our products. That's the distinction that's made. Are there any questions about that? Let's see. I've got this one question on chat. We need a JAFRA product claim source on women. Facebook wouldn't let me post a promo with this claim. Carol, I will look that up for you. Oh, hi, Carol. There you are. Carol, I know that I've seen something like that in our skincare brochures, I believe. Let me look that up for you and find that.
So, Anna,
all right.
A couple of questions, just to give you a couple of examples, because I know we were looking at some posts together and we called and, you know, I was talking to some of the consultants as well about some of their posts as a learning, like you said. So one is, tell us about a testimony. If I just wanted to say what this product has done for me, can I do that? Is there a difference between a group page that's private, my personal page, my business page? Tell me a little bit about a testimony from myself or a client.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So testimonies are considered product claims in this scenario because you are trying to sell the product. You are representing the company and you're trying to sell the product. Now that's different from you just you know, getting a product at a drugstore, at a beauty counter, at, you know, at Macy's or something and saying, oh my gosh, I love this product. It's done this and this and this for me. You're not trying to sell the product. So we're held to a different standard because we are trying to convince consumers to buy it. So therefore, anything we're saying as a testimonial about the product is actually held to the FDA standards of marketing claims. So when we're talking testimonials, we just have to be careful. We can talk about how much we love the product, if we're not talking about, if we're talking about makeup or fragrance, we can talk about, the different colors. We can talk about how much we love the scents. We just have to be really careful when we're talking, especially about skincare products. And those actually do need to follow our guideline of making claims that are set out in our official Jafra materials. So one thing you can do if you want to give a testimonial, say about the Revitalize line, is read up everything in our Jafra materials about Revitalize, and then tailor your testimonial to follow what we're saying in our Jafra materials. Does that make sense?
Yes, completely. What about, I have two more, just because it's always a hot topic, before and after pictures.
That's an awesome question. And we love before and afters, and we actually have a very specific guideline on how to do before and afters. So I will share that. Let me write that down. We have a one sheet handout so that you can do before and afters the right way. And before and afters basically need to be done exactly the same for the before and the after. Same lighting, no makeup. Another thing is you have to disclose how often you use the product. You can't use the product in conjunction with another product, or you can't, get Botox and say, oh, hey, look, here's my before and after. Something, you can't get a chemical peel in between and say, hey, here's my before and after. And the general standard is you can't be misleading. And as you see so often, you see these before and afters online, and you're like, really? Like, that's exactly what it looks like before and after? And so that's the kind of thing that we need to watch out for. Okay. But I will share the full guidelines with you on before and afters.
That's awesome. One of the third things that I noticed in some of the postings, and they even went back as far as 2015, 2017. We're here looking at all of it, right? So it's not even what we've done recently before we even had all of this regulation. It's like, no, we're still cleaning that up, right? So, and I know we'll do some how-tos at the end, or steps to take for all of us. But going back to product, we get this a lot of questions on our Facebook private group on the Amber region. People asking, what do you suggest for rosacea, eczema? I've got a problem with lupus. What do I use? Things like that, like sensitive questions. They're asking each other in that private group. But if we go and post and say, hey, this precious protein helps rosacea, tell us what that red flag is to that.
Definitely. Honestly, you're putting yourself at risk by doing that. You really need to, if it's to treat or cure any sort of skin condition, the advice from you as representing your own business is to have that person ask a dermatologist. We can definitely promote our products, but we have to be very careful. And I would just strongly recommend that you as yourself be very, very careful about doing that, because we're not doctors, we're not dermatologists. And especially if people have sensitive skin, you do not want to get yourself into a situation where you're the one recommending or giving almost medical advice on how to treat this certain skin condition, and then that person has some sort of even worse reaction or something goes wrong. So I would just, for your own personal sake of your own business and making sure that you're doing things right, I would really stay away from that. I think that obviously there's less of a risk if it's in a private group or you're talking to someone one-on-one, but even in that situation, just it's not hard to imagine a time when someone has really sensitive, inflamed skin. You give them a recommendation and it doesn't work for them, or it makes it worse, and suddenly, it's coming back on you. You're getting in trouble for that from them directly. So I would very strongly recommend against doing that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, to just know the benefits. You've got product pages and your brochures to look at. Know your benefits and just say, well, these are the benefits of the product if you should choose to try it. But you said something really key. Any type of medical claim, again, anything outside our printed material, it's your brand. So, be very, very careful. And again, on social media representing Jafra, another key place not to do that. So love that. Let me go back to the audience or in the chat. Is there any other questions that we see in the chat or other questions regarding product that you have for Ann?
I see 2 questions in the chat here about clients, and that's a really great question. And this is gray area, you know, so can our clients post their successes or their testimonies on their business page because it's not a claim that Jafra makes? And yes, clients, you know, clients aren't our distributors. They're not under contract with Jafra. However, if it's still something to watch out for, because you know, social media becomes part of your whole brand. And so social media is just, it's a funny place, and it's an evolving, you know, area of the law because this is all new. So when a client posts a testimony on your page, we, on the one hand, want to encourage it. On the other hand, we just do need to be a little cautious of it, especially if it's making a drug claim or a claim that something has cured something. So in this situation, what I would do is email Jackie and myself. You know, these types of things, it's hard to answer these questions. It's 100% this way or 100% that way. Let's have the conversation. Let's just check it out ourselves.
Good. I love that. Thank you. Okay. Anything else on products so we can move to number 2? All right. We'll take the silence as ready to go. So thank you. Let's move on.
All right. Thanks, guys. So number 2 is income claims. So our gold standard of income claims is income claims. Well, so let's just back up really quick. So income claims are any claims that you can, you know, make money or significantly improve your lifestyle through Jafra. So income claims can be things like, I made certain amount, you know, X amount of money, or I was able to pay off my car, you know, through my check from Jafra. Or, you know, if you join Jafra, I bet you could make $5,000, you know, in a couple months, or anything like that. So with income claims, our gold standard, the thing we need to keep in mind is what can the average person entering into Jafra reasonably expect to make. So this isn't what can our, you know, top leaders make? What can we aspire to make? What do you really, really wish that you could make with Jafra? What we need to be, you know, talking about and really and promoting as the opportunity, saying, hey, join Jafra and you can get X, is what can just kind of the normal person joining Jafra expect to get. So this standard is tough. This is not the standard that, you know, we used 10 years ago, 20 years ago in the industry. You know, for years, the direct sales industry was, you know, showing aspirational images, showing, you know, yachts and luxury vacations and Mercedes-Benz, you know, and saying, hey, join this. This is a really great opportunity, and really selling it hard and not having any sort of disclaimer or discussion about what kind of just the average consultants at the bottom level, you know, not the leader levels, were making. And so this has been challenging for our company and for really all companies as a whole. And it's definitely a shift. So there's a big change. So if you struggle with this, it's not just you, it's our company, it's all the companies, it's all the distributors trying to promote these wonderful opportunities and, you know, giving people something to dream for and something to get excited about. So how do we do that without promising the money, without promising the lifestyle improvements? So that's kind of the framework of what we're looking at. So the challenge is, how do we creatively promote this? And what a lot of companies are doing then is selling, you know, the lifestyle, selling the opportunity to own your own business, to have, you know, the flexibility to work your own hours, to have, you know, us, you know, taking this call from our homes instead of, you know, having to commute an hour, then sit in an office and then take the call, that sort of thing. So when we're looking at income claims, again, we're going to kind of a safe place to start is by going to the claims that Jafra is making. And so Jafra Social is a great place to get inspiration and to get actual posts to go on your social media pages. And if you need help, learning how to use Jafra Social or getting on there, we're more than happy to help with that. Again, and then also, looking at our compensation plan, looking at what we're posting, and then, if you have different ideas about how you'd like to brand the opportunity, feel free to let us know. So that's in a nutshell, what we're talking about. Do you have any questions about that?
Are there particular words? I saw some repetition when we were looking at posts. Are there particular do's and don't words that just that you keep seeing that we might want to most search out on our own pages ourselves?
That's a great question. And yes, it's kind of the top words that have been problematic lately are financial freedom. So I would recommend that everybody goes on your own social media pages and search for any of your posts in which you said financial freedom, and then just moving forward, just avoid that one. And that caught the eye. Why that's a problem is that caught the eye of like a watchdog organization called TINA, which is like a truth in advertising watchdog organization. And so that one's just kind of on the do not say list at the moment. Another one is unlimited income or unlimited opportunity. Another catchphrase, search for it, stay away from it in the future. Another thing we want to avoid saying is, that Jafra helped me buy a car or a house or pay for my kids' college. While those things may be true, unfortunately, that's not the legal standard for making these claims. Again, we're going back to the legal standard is what can the average person expect to earn? And realistically, the average person joining a direct sales company or multi-level marketing company probably isn't going to be able to buy a house using that income from it. Our top leaders may be able to, and we hope that you're all able to, but again, that's just not the average. That's not what we're seeing. We don't have the data to support that. So, yes, our earning opportunity brochure. I do not have that pulled up, but we are changing that. Yes. So do's and don'ts, exactly. Donna, you're on the right track. Yes, those are some serious don'ts in that income opportunity brochure. That is actively being edited. And this is, like I said, this is a shift. This is something that us as a company, we are dealing with right now. We're doing internal trainings here. We're teaching everybody, hey, maybe in the past it was okay to say this, but moving forward, it's not. When will it be changing? I believe at national conference. So I believe that they've been taken out of circulation. They are not sending out new ones. And so I think national conference is the turning point on that. Phrases we can use. Awesome question. We have a lot. So, I would say top phrases that we can use are, let's see. Instead of I made this amount of money with Jafra, you can say, I learned these business skills with Jafra, or I was able to, really have this community, this camaraderie with Jafra, or, personal development. I gained confidence. Before this, I was, not somebody who liked to talk on the phone or chat up strangers. And now here I am, with a really great sales pitch that's helped me in other things. Jafra is still sending the income opportunity brochures in June. Okay, good to know. Put that on my notes. And we will discuss that with the corporate office, our marketing team. And other things that are great to talk about, are the products. Always go back to the products. And then you can just talk about generally that one thing that is okay to say, again, we have to just watch out for the overall impression, is that with Jafra, you're able to make some extra money or a little extra money. So that is, that people can reasonably expect if they sell the products, they can get commissions from those. And so you can always go back to our compensation plan. And when we get these opportunity guidelines, fixed up, use those as your gold standard, and we'll have some good phrases in there.
Yeah, Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Lori.
So when you say you can make some money or whatever, does that include that we can say things like you can make up to 50% of your sales, because that is an actual number that Jafra says? So that,
yeah, so a commission percentage is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just can't say you can make $500 or $200 or you can make, X number of dollars a week or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And the reason for that is because, some people can expect to make that, but it also, the other thing we need to keep in mind is telling people it takes hard work, dedication, and effort. Like selling products isn't easy. Like you guys have a tough job, sponsoring, selling products, that doesn't come, sometimes it comes automatically. Sometimes we hit a run of good luck and like you're saying, the products are selling like hotcakes, and that's awesome. But it does take work, time, dedication. And so if we're talking about the opportunity, we do want to talk about that too. And that's another thing that we can, present it as is, hey, this is a challenge. This is something that, is out there for people that like a good challenge and that like to work hard and like to make their own luck, that sort of thing.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, here's a great question from Patricia. Is there something from the DSA that has all these rules and regulations or guidelines, or is Jafra going to prepare guidelines for us? So the DSA has the DSA Code of Ethics. They have not prepared there are materials on income claims, but it's not really a do's and don'ts list. However, I can definitely share that with Jackie to distribute to everybody. And then Jafra has prepared an income claims guidance sheet. So we have our one-page flyer, and that's a great resource. And then we also have our Code of Ethics. That's a smaller blurb. So if I were you, I would probably take a look at our income claims guidance. I think that's the best thing that we've put out so far.
Okay. Any other questions before we wrap it up to our last note? Awesome. So helpful. We are loving this. So thank you. Oh, go ahead. Thank you. I'm sorry, Lisa.
Hi. I have a situation where my original Facebook page that I have had for 20 years, I was locked out of it for some reason. They said that somebody hacked it and I had to authenticate it, which I was never able to do. I've been trying for 2 years to get back into that account. I can't get into it, but all of the stuff that I put on there for, 15, 20 years is still on there, and it's still floating around because in cyberspace, nothing ever goes away. So my thing is, I do have phrases like that out there when it was perfectly okay to say that kind of thing, but I have no way to remove it now. So what kind of recourse is left for me in a situation like that?
That's a tough question. I would say maybe we can, we have a social media coordinator that can maybe help. Maybe she's got some thoughts on that. So let's take this offline and maybe we can get in touch and just talk about it and see what we can do about that. But thanks for bringing that up.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay, I have a question too. I know the word flexibility is used a lot, in our brochures as well, and also, and as far as for the products, younger looking appearance. So how are both of those statements? Because that's all throughout our brochures and everything else here.
So I really like both of those. I mean, and it depends on the context. So we don't want to say, the flexibility to earn $1 million or $5 million, you decide. Mm-hmm. We can say, but if we want to talk about, the flexibility to, work or where you want, when you want, I think that's a fair statement. I think that's what an average person can expect. Someone who joins Jafra the very first day, they can decide where they want to work and when they want to work. So that gets my stamp of approval in that type of situation. Then you brought up the younger looking. So appearance, that's a great way to make these claims, and that's what we as a company definitely try to do, because that's a cosmetic claim. It's appearance. It's something that's just acting on the outside of your skin, making you look one way or look the other. It's not, penetrating deep into your skin and making changes on a cellular level. So appearance,
Okay.
that's a great thing. We try and say, diminishes the appearance of fine lines, that sort of thing. So yes, I'm all for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good questions.
Anna, did you see Linda's question in the chat? She says, can we say hiring or now hiring?
Yes, and that segues perfectly into my third point. So our third point is promoting Jafra as an independent business opportunity rather than as a job or a career. So the catchphrase that we've been throwing around the office is you don't work for Jafra, Jafra works for you. So keep that in mind. Basically, we want to promote Jafra as an independent business opportunity. So we'd like to stay away from things like career, job, hiring, anything that talks about salary or benefits in like an employment context. And so those are kind of the main things to stay away from. So instead of saying hiring, I would say, I would just really talk about it as a business, an entrepreneurial opportunity, open your own shop, start your own thing, work your own gig, that sort of thing. Another thing we want to watch out for there is making sure to promote ourselves as independent consultants, independent beauty consultants, and not confusing it with like employees of Jafra. So for example, on Facebook, you want to be sure to set your status not as like I work for Jafra. You want to say I'm an entrepreneur with my own business. I'm an independent businesswoman as a Jafra consultant, that sort of thing. So a couple ways to do that are by saying, putting it in as a nickname. So like my Facebook page would be Anna Morkos, and then my nickname on Facebook would be Jafra Independent Consultant. Or you could do comma Jafra Independent Consultant. You can use it as a hashtag. You can do hashtag Jafra Independent Consultant at the end of your post. You can say, I'm an independent beauty consultant and here are my favorite products, that sort of thing.
So using the terminology, interviewing or training, can we do anything like those words? Are they still gray?
Training, I would say, is definitely more okay, because I think you can training doesn't necessarily connote like employment. I think depending on how it's used, it could potentially be problematic, but generally when I see, you can receive great training through Jafra, I think that's saying something like that would be okay. Or, we give you the business training that, that you're looking for, or we help you with training, we provide that. I think that's generally okay. Interviewing, I would say is a little more gray. I would say I would probably tend to avoid that. I guess, do you have an example of how that one's used?
Yeah,
okay.
So if we said now training our summer independent beauty consultants, now interviewing for independent Jafra business consultants. So
I think adding the independent business consultants is fine. I guess I would kind of wonder about the interviewing part, because we generally don't interview to sign people up. So that might just be a little, I don't know.
We train on sponsoring interviews. So it's why I was using the terms to see if it's fit for them versus just sign people up. You do a business interview with them. So we were kind of using that here and there. But I didn't know if that got too close to a job.
I mean, I think if you're interviewing, let's see. I think if you're asking questions about them, that's a fair statement to use, because you can interview people in a lot of different contexts, not in the employment context. So as long as you're not saying now interviewing to hire at Jafra, if you're saying, interviewing people who would be a great fit for my team as a Jafra independent consultant.
Yes.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. That's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I've got a question. I sometimes use the phrase, I'm a business owner whose business is customized to fit my life. Not my life around my business. Would this be okay? Yes, I love that. You're talking about your own business and customized to fit my life. you know, somebody joining Jafra as a consultant can absolutely, you know, reasonably expect to customize their business to fit their life. So that meets the standard, and that would be a good thing to say.
Love
I
it.
like that. That's a great example of being creative, thinking a great way to sell the opportunity. I like it.
Excellent. Okay, good. All right. Anything else, Anna, you wanted to share with us? So what do we do next? Now that we have this info, how do we as business owners help our own brand in Jafra?
Definitely. So I think the first thing to do is, you know, really just look at any post that you've posted in the past. Maybe run a search, and then, you know, could try to edit those or take those down, and then just be conscientious of it moving forward. And then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And just know that also if you get a call or see an email from us, you know, we are just kind of keeping an eye on what's on social media. Don't be scared. Don't be offended. We're here to help. And we're really coming at this with a spirit of collaboration, of enthusiasm. Like, let's sell your businesses. Let's sell these products, and let's do it the right way. So just know that we absolutely mean the best and are here to help.
Excellent. Anyone else with any final questions before we go? Go ahead, Evelyn.
Okay, so thank you so much, Anna. This is so great. I do have a question though, because I wasn't clear on the answer between the business pages versus our personal page and our groups. So and also if we're doing an oral, like we're going and doing Facebook Live, opposed to what we are actually printing.
Mm-hmm. Right. I didn't answer that question. So the answer is that the standards apply across the board. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, if it's a private group, it can be different. And I do understand that, you know, private groups may not get the same amount of visibility. However, it's social media, and we know how easy everything can be shared outside of a private group. So even if it was a private group with you and your, you know, 6 new consultants that you're training, it's just all too easy for a post or a video just to be shared outside of that. So these standards really do apply across the board. Obviously, the risk if you're just verbally telling someone in their own home, there's no photos, videos, but on the other hand, that still is, you know, being heard by that person and is being shared. So I really do think that we just need to set the example in everything that we do. And we're really working on that as a company as well. So I think the standard just applies across the board. That would be my answer to that. I mean, I understand that, yes, the risk may be less if it's shared privately. And, you know, you're independent business people. And so, you know, it's up to you to kind of decide, you know, how you want to run your business. But my professional recommendation is to do it all right, all the time, and just kind of get that practice with doing it in private or in public.
Thank you.
So I remember something back to our training we did in April, Anna, and I thought maybe we could just end with this little note as well. Remember, nothing's really private in this world today. So that's always a good common rule that you're saying. But I remember also in your training, one of the things that you had said was even the emojis. So putting the dollar signs, so do you want to just hit refresh on that for a quick second for us?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. We have to be careful about emojis now. Can you believe it? Emojis can convey a lot. So emojis are, you know, what we're using to communicate in addition to words. So we really need to watch out for dollar signs, money bags, that sort of thing, and just any sort of images. Like, so because think about it. So like what we're talking about here is saying something like, you know, Jafra can improve your life. $5 signs, 5 money bags. What's a person going to take away from that? Oh, they're going to say, oh, Jafra can improve my life by giving me money, giving me riches, you know, like, wow, $5 signs. And we think about that like in the context of, you know, when you're on Yelp and you look at restaurants, oh, does that $1 sign? Does that $4 sign? Does it $5 signs? Whoa. So that's understood now to be like a conveyance of wealth. And so the standards for income claims are not just what you actually say, but it's what's implied and what's taken away by like the whole context of the post or the page. So that's why we're watching out for emojis. And then just pictures generally, you know, so you would want to watch out for saying like, you know, I love Jafra, like it's helped me in so many ways. And then holding up a picture of, you know, keys to a house. That's implying, wow, Jafra helped me buy a house. Again, it's what is a reasonable consumer going to get from that? And that's what that message is saying. So if we do want to, you know, talk about that, we need to just watch out for how we're making those claims, and something that we can definitely help you with, because there aren't necessarily, there's some black and whites, but again, those areas are very gray. So if you do want to, you know, think of a creative way to talk about that, maybe come to myself or Jackie and we can discuss some ways to talk about that. I see a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yes, my question is about the business pages. One of the new things on the business pages is you have to verify it, which is really hard to do because you have to have a business phone to verify it, or a publicly a phone number that's publicly assigned to that business that Facebook can verify. Any thoughts on how we can have business? And now the new rule is that I understand, I could be wrong, is that you won't be able to go live on your business page unless it's a verified business page. And if we as independent consultants don't have a landline assigned to that business, we won't be able to go live on our business page. Any thoughts or comments on that?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm maybe not the best person to answer that, because admittedly, I don't actually have a business page. So does anybody else have a thought on how they've dealt with that?
Did you possibly get a Google Voice number that's assigned?
Okay.
Because those are free.
I'll look into it. This is fairly new about business pages having to be verified before you can go live. It didn't used to be that way, but now, you know, as new consultants come on, we tell them, oh, start a business page on Facebook, but Facebook won't let you go live on a business page that's not verified, and you're not supposed to really be going. There's only so much you can do on your personal page. So it's kind of like caught into a little crazy loop there. You can't get a business page verified. You can't go live on your other page. And what are you going to do?
I think Facebook is really, I mean, the as you probably know, Lisa, because you're online all the time, that it's really pushing towards groups and the community aspect. And I think that's part of what they're doing, is just being more annoying on our business pages. So we have to do groups. Because you can make a group that's open, kind of like a business page, but a group, then you can go live all the time. But I agree, it's frustrating because we have our business page is supposed to be our business, and then funnel it to our group. But if it won't let us do live, yeah, it's a brave new world in Facebook.
Okay, that's my question.
We'll go to our social media guru at Jafra, and it's a good question that we will certainly ask. So
okay.
Thank you. Good topic. I've got it down.
I know, Anna. This came up recently with people getting upset because Jafra people were posting on Marketplace, and so I think this is probably a good place to hit this. Mm-hmm. From what I understood when I started researching it and reading on what was happening, is people are not actually posting on Marketplace. It's Facebook taking posts from a group, say like a sale group, and just saying, oh, they want to sell this and they want to sell it to these people, so we're just going to post it on Marketplace for them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really it's amazing the way the algorithms are working. So from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody has figured out anything else, the only people who will see those Marketplace posts are people from your closed group. So for instance, the buy sell trade group that we all only can be a consultant and it's only between us and all of that. That is, if you see someone that from buy sell trade who has a post on Marketplace, don't assume that and start reporting them to Jafra because they're posting, because they're probably not. Because Jafra or Facebook is automatically sharing it, but from what I understand, the only people who can see it still are people from that closed group. If you posted it in a closed group, if you posted it somewhere else, that's open season. But if you posted in a closed group, it may be on Marketplace, but you'll only see it if you're a member of the group. From what I've been able to understand from looking into it, because there was some people who are getting really upset because it's not legal, Jafra legal. And so I wanted to figure out what was going on. And I found a couple articles saying, warning, Facebook is helping you, quote unquote, by sharing things on Marketplace that you didn't know. So.
Wow, that's really interesting. Thanks for bringing that up, Lori. We'll look into that too. I'll bring that up to our social media team. But that also raises a really good point about why just our standards for what we post in closed groups need to be the same as we need to be confident that we would be okay saying that in front of a public group too, because you just don't know where that's going to end up or how it's going to be shared. So
yeah,
standards.
But again, from what I can see, you guys will have to research it because it's a red flag for, a lot of people are getting upset. It happened to me too when I had Google ads and Google was putting it on Amazon and people were getting upset thinking I was selling on Amazon. I was like, I'm not. What are they talking about? I would never do that, But they were showing my ad because it was Google, right? So you just, when you see stuff like that, you guys don't assume that person is breaking the rules because they may not even be aware of what's going on. But I believe it's still only visible to the people in that closed group, even though it's showing on Marketplace. So it's kind of a weird thing that's happening, but Facebook is being a little too helpful, I think.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for bringing that up. And we love hearing like these different, we love hearing about your experiences using social media tools because that really helps us. So if you would even if you have anything interesting to share, we're always happy to hear it. Shoot us an email or drop us a line.
Yeah, it's
so. And I just saw one other question about in the comments about potential. Does saying potential profit or potential earnings, and that can help. It's not like a magic word to save anything. But in the context, that can be a way. Again, I wouldn't say, oh, you can potentially earn $1 million with Jafra, or you can potentially make $500 next month. Because again, that's a person kind of who's reading it, generally maybe will skip over the potential part and just see I want to earn $500. So that's what we have to think about. How is this going to be perceived? But, if you say, you have the potential to make some extra money with Jafra, that's a great thing to say.
Or if we use the phrase such as in our Jafra model, in our business model, if you were serving your clients and you had $400 in client orders, with our 50% commission program, the potential income is $200.
That's an option. Yeah, and that's a gray area. I would avoid doing the math for them.
Okay.
People do the math themselves. You give them the facts and let them decide, how much they want to earn and how much they can make. Because again, you want to be careful that nobody's perceiving it as, oh, I'm going to make $200, because people hear things that are different from what is said sometimes. So you just have to think, okay, how is the normal person going to hear this? What part of this are they going to hear? And they're going to hear the money part, not the, oh, maybe, potentially if I work hard. That's not the part that people want to hear.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And Linda, you had a question?
I do, and I quit coughing. So I like to post consultant results on my team. Like every month I post first, second, and third, and I post, what they did in sales. I do it on our team page. Is that not a good thing either?
So you're saying like how much they sold or how much they earned?
How much they sold. Interesting.
I would have to take a look at that. Do you mind? Can we talk about that one offline? Sure. And see that? Because Because sale, as you know, my initial thoughts on that are that we can talk about sales because yes, we do want people to sell. That's the part of the business that we want to be promoting. And we can do recognition, and you're talking about it, amongst your own team. And we as a company obviously still do that. So maybe we can just take a look at that and see, and then we can talk about it and come back with a good answer.
Okay. Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Okay.
Thanks.
And
Okay,
Lisa, I think you had one more.
Just the contact information. You said to email you, but where?
Jafra Cares at Jafra.com. So
Okay.
just the main customer service, and you can even address it Dear Anna or Dear Jessica, and it comes right to us.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, well, our Empower Hour is up. Evelyn, go ahead. We'll take your final question.
Okay, so I have a question about this because I just posted it this weekend. So I understand we cannot give specific amounts of numbers of what someone's earned, but can you say something like it has helped someone pay their utility bills, or it helps for someone to buy groceries? Can you say that? Because if they're working the business, they really are doing those things.
Yeah. And that's tough. And we get that a lot. And I wish that the answer was yes, but unfortunately the answer is no. And the reason is that most consultants, and just from the data that we have, most consultants aren't able to make like significant amounts of income from doing that. A lot of people make some extra, and yes, they could put that money towards a utility bill or towards groceries. This is a really gray area one, because on the one hand, yeah, even if you made $20, that could help you buy groceries, or that could absolutely help you pay one of your utility bills. On the other hand, we want to be careful marketing to people who are needing, really needing help kind of paying for the basic necessities, because that, can be seen as a population that's like, just it's a population that maybe needs just help paying their basic necessities. And so we want to be careful, because the regulators, especially in like cases like Herbalife, has seen that as, oh whoa, like you're really going after people that are in financial trouble or something like that. That's how it's perceived, even though that's not the intention of what you're doing or necessarily like how it comes across. But that's how it's been perceived in court cases in the past. So I would really just advise you to stay away from those types of things and just talk about the opportunity to do other things, to get business trainings, to make great friends, recognition, flexibility, that sort of thing. I would just avoid that type of thing altogether.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we are concluding our recording today. We so appreciate you coming back to us again, Anna, with all of these updates, and that together we will all be working to be conscious and build our brands together for Jafra as Team USA and individually with their own business brand. So thank you again. Anna Marcos, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. You're all doing a wonderful job, and can't wait to see everybody at National Conference, whoever can come. So we'll see you there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, Lori, this will